All right, all right. Welcome to today's presentation. We are going to be talking all about, can you really make $20,000 wholesale real estate right here in Canada? If you're new to the channel, my name is Jefferson Ortiz. I'm the founder of Ortiz Equity Group. We're based out of Hamilton, Ontario. We've done business all over Canada and also expanded out to the US. We started with wholesaling. We have now built a real estate portfolio of about 330 apartment building units. And this channel is all about helping you achieve your financial goals through wholesale real estate and real estate investing. So if you're new to the page, make sure to like, follow us, and make sure to put a comments with any questions that you have as we go along the way with this. All right, guys? So the truth about wholesaling fees, real deals, and what beginners should expect. This right here is a guide for Canadians ready to look at wholesaling as a tool to achieve their financial independence and their dreams for both themselves and for their family. Okay. All right, guys. So for those that are new, like I said, you guys to get to know a little bit about us. Right here on the site, wholesalerealestate.canada.com. That is our website. You guys can go in there, check it out as well. But without further ado, let's get right to it, guys. All right. So if you're brand new to wholesale real estate, maybe you heard it in the US, maybe you've heard about it. We're going to break down what exactly it is, and then we'll get kind of deeper into other things. Okay. So what is wholesale real estate? Wholesale real estate is the simple process of getting a property under contract. So a seller of a property that is looking to sell their property privately, getting that on, like making them an offer, having a contract with the seller, and then it's assigning that contract to an investor. That is what wholesaling is in a nutshell. But essentially how, like step by step, step one, you need to do is find and negotiate. So find off-market properties that have a motivated seller. So somebody who's going through a divorce, death in the family, maybe they have a health situation, maybe they can't keep up with payments, people that are motivated. And they want to move quickly. They want a quick offer. They want to be in it. They want to be done with this property. Now, very clear that I say this. These are not properties that are listed on the MLS with a realtor. That is not what we're talking about here. We're talking about off-market, which means private deals between the seller and the buyer. Okay? So again, these are deals that are directing. Now, how do we find these deals? Well, a few of the options that we're going over here is driving for dollars. So getting in your car, going around, driving for dollars. One of the ones that I like a lot is direct mail. So sending out flyers or dropping off flyers at houses, or referrals. Could be property manager, could be contractor, could be somebody who works in pest control. Those are all really good referrals. Now, what does the process look like? Once you have that seller and you're speaking to them, then you want to negotiate directly with the seller. And that is where the magic happens. Understand the situation and negotiate with the seller, right? And then the whole idea with wholesaling is that we want to get that property below market value. So not the full retail value, but we want it below, which means you're buying the property at a discount. That's basically what that means. Why? Because there still needs to be a spread in there for the investor as well, right? So that's why you want to get them at a discount. You don't want to just get properties that are just whatever. Like, it needs to be a good deal. So that's step number one. Then we move on to step number two, which is secure and assign, which means that I am going to then sign a purchase and sell agreement with the seller, and that gives you equitable interest in the property, which means that whatever I have in the contract is my equitable interest, and therefore I can assign my rights of that contract to an investor or to a buyer, right? Remember, you are not buying the home. You're controlling it, right? And then basically, once we find an investor, a fix and flipper, a multifamily, a land developer, somebody who's interested in the property and they like the numbers, then we are going to assign that contract to that investor, and the investor is the one that's actually going to buy the property and close on it. Now, what happens is when you assign that contract, you get what's called an assignment agreement, aka wholesale fee, for that contract. Because you found the deal and you found the buyer, for putting those two together, you get paid a profit, essentially, right? You're transferring your rights to purchase that property to that investor. And again, that's why it has to be a good deal. It can't just be like it has to be an amazing deal so that the investor is like, I don't care to pay this person 20, 30, 40, 50, 100K, whatever it is, because in return, they're getting an amazing deal. So they're like, doesn't matter to them. Excuse me. Step number 3, earn your fee. The difference between what you have it on a contract with the seller, so let's say it's $200,000, and what you end up assigning it to, let's say it's $220,000, is your assignment fee, right? That's what the whole assignment fee is. I get it for $200, I assign it for $220, I make $20,000 in between. You're getting paid to find opportunities and for solving problems, essentially, right? There's no renovations, there's no mortgage, there's no ownership. They're not looking at your credit score. Now, typical on a small fee could be as little as $3,000, as much as $100,000, or even more than that, right? But typically, on average, is about $25,000 to about $30,000 is what we're noticing per deal. Okay. Now, the question of today is, can you actually make $20,000? And the answer is yes, but not every single deal pays the same, right? $20,000, $25,000. Typically, your first kind of 1 or 2 deals is typically going to be between $10,000 to around $15,000 Canadian, right? So that's typically what the average wholesale fee is going to be when you're starting out. As you get better with negotiations, as you get better at finding deals, as you get better at putting these deals together, then those fees are going to go up to, as much as $25,000, $30,000 or above, right? So starting out, $10,000 to $15,000. Then as you get better with negotiation, as you get better with contracts, then that can easily jump up to $10,000 to $30,000. And then the better you get with this and the more reps you put in, then the better you are going to be negotiating, to the point where now it's going to be $50,000 to $100,000. Where we are in the business, because we started this in 2021, we've been doing this for well over 5 years now. That's kind of where we focus on. We do less deals, but we do bigger spreads, which is better for us because we have to do less work. But when we started out, we would do deals that were 3,000, 4,000, 10,000. We didn't care. We were just trying to get as many reps in as we possibly could. The size of the fee simply depends on the spread. How good is that deal? How amazing is that opportunity for an investor, right? So how good are your negotiation skills, right? If you're starting out, like I said, you're just getting into the game. Even if you make $5,000, $6,000, $10,000, it's all about getting your reps in and understanding the process, right? But as you get deeper with it, then obviously you can make a bigger assignment fee. Okay? That is what an investor is going to pay you based on how much good a deal is. For example, if I'm a fix and flip investor, you bring me a deal, and let's say you're charging $30,000 for that contract. Let's say I run my numbers, and I'm like, okay, even after I pay you $30,000, I can make profit by fixing it, renovating it, and selling it $100,000. I don't care to pay you $30,000. I don't care to pay you $50,000. I don't care to pay you $100,000. Obviously, there will be some negotiations, because on the back end, as long as me as the investor, I'm making the spread, then it doesn't really matter how much the wholesale fee is at the end of the day. Okay, so it's all about your ability to be able to negotiate. But again, even $10,000, $15,000, that's still great money for most people. I'll give you guys some examples here on a couple of deals that we did, and I'll tell you kind of where they came from as well. So this was deal A. It was a deal in Cornwall, Ontario. It was a single-family property. Seller was motivated. He was a bit getting older, so he was looking to sell it, because he was just at that point where he had it for a long time, but he was just old and he just wanted to get rid of it. So we ended up making him an offer for $200,000. So I said, hey, Mr. Seller, I will buy your house for $200,000. We drafted up an agreement and we had the contract. He signed it, I signed it, and now we're on the contract. Then I went to my Rolodex of investors and I say, hey, investors, I have this amazing opportunity for $215,000. Who wants it? I had like 4 or 5 investors that reached out. 2 of them decided to go see the property, and 1 of them decided, hey, I like this property, I'm going to pursue to it. Then I assigned that contract to that investor, and our wholesale fee on that one was $15,000. So for putting that deal together, I got paid $15,000, which is amazing, because once you find the buyer and you assign that contract to the buyer, your job is done for the most part. Obviously, you have to keep following up, making sure everything goes well, if there's walkthroughs, but for the most part, your job is done. You can move on to the next deal. So that's what allows you to do multiple deals. So this was an entry-level deal, right? Ideal for beginners, building confidence and closing their first wholesale transaction. So this could be a similar structure of what your first kind of deal could look like when starting out. Then this one is a little bit of more in advance. This was a couple years into the game, and then we wholesaled this property in London, Ontario, where we got it for $500,000. We assigned it for $525,000, and we ended up making a $25,000 assignment fee. This one had a bit more of a story. So the reason why the seller was selling it was because he had originally bought it for his granddaughter to live in with her husband and her kids. The thing that transpired is that the granddaughter had married a gentleman, and the guy or the gentleman that she married ended up being a little bit crazy in the head. So he ended up causing all type of damages to the property. There was a lot of fights, a lot of cops being called to the property. So he decided, hey, you know what? This is not what I thought it was going to be. I just want to get rid of it. I want to sell it because the granddaughter's husband had really damaged the property really, really bad. So it was in really rough shape. So we ended up assigning it for $25,000. So this is kind of more, I would say, what your average typical wholesale fee is going to look like. $25,000, $30,000, $40,000. Like, I'd say even $25,000 to $30,000. This is kind of more where a lot of the deals are going to be made, is in this space right here, right? $20,000, $25,000 assignment fees is what I typically see. So this is $25,000 is what most wholesalers aim for, and it is achievable. It is achievable. So as per the question earlier, can you make $20,000 wholesale real estate? And the answer to this is clearly you can. All you have to do is one deal or two deals, and you can get to the goal. So it's not rocket science. It's just numbers at the end of the day. So that is how you're able to get $25,000, $20,000 to $25,000 by doing one transaction. That's all you need to do. In 12 months, if you do one transaction, it could be $20,000 to $25,000. Now, fast track to today, like I mentioned, we do less deals, but we do bigger spreads, because if you're going to put in the same amount of work to do a big deal than a small deal, well, we might as well go with a big deal, especially because we've been doing this for a long time, and we've already showcased, and we've already build the reps and put in the reps, right? So we're here now. But if you're starting out, it doesn't matter. $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 is all profit at the end of the day that can help you and your family out. So as you can see here, deal C, it's a single family house in Welland. It was actually a duplex, so it was a 2 units. And this is back when the market was crazy, right? There was another 3rd unit, and there was storage at the back. So there's a lot of potential with this property. We ended up getting it for $750,000, and then we ended up assigning it for $800,000. So it was about a $50,000 spread, right? Story with this one is that the seller who had owned it had previous tenants in there that just simply destroyed the place. They just damaged the place like crazy. And so he was like, I don't want to be a landlord anymore. I just want to be done with this. And so we came in there, we made him an offer, and then we ended up finding an investor, same thing within our network, who was able to buy that contract, or rather, we assigned that contract to that investor for a profit of $50,000. Now, keep this in mind, guys. The average income in Canada for a year, right? The average income for somebody who works a job is typically between $55,000 to $60,000. So if you do one of these wholesale deals, and this is why I love this business, why I'm so passionate about it, and why I believe there's so much opportunity out there if you're willing to put in the work. One of these wholesale deals, specifically these ones on the right, could literally make you the average salary in Canada in one transaction. Blows my mind. If you do 2 of these, that's over $100,000. I'll say it again. If you do 2 of these deals, it's over $100,000. That's what I love this business. That's why there's so much opportunity. 2026, today, there's plenty of opportunity. There's so much distress out there. There's investors buying. I mean, this is the greatest time, in my opinion, to be doing this business, is right now, 2026. So exceptional deal, larger deals, larger spreads on premium properties require experience, strong investor relationship, and sharp negotiation skills. To get to that goal, you have to obviously sharpen your tools, be very effective, be a good negotiator, and truly be able to put a deal together. Now, keep in mind, we are more in this space now, and typically that could also be land. So land that you can then wholesale. You could be making $50,000, $100,000, or even upwards of $500,000. One of our clients did a land development deal. It was a $1.5 million wholesale fee. I'll repeat that again. One of our students did a deal, and it was a $1.5 million wholesale fee. So sky's the limit. Multifamily, so anything apartment buildings or bigger than a single family, so duplex, triplex, fourplex, those can be also very profitable. Yeah, so those land development, multifamily are usually really, really high margins on those. Like you can make some serious money on those. All right. Why most people never make their first deal? This is the common mistakes that we see over and over and over again after training and helping well over 100 Canadians get their first wholesale deal. These are the most common things that I notice. The first one, they don't make enough offers. The name of the business, guys, is offers, 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 offers. So when you're beginning out, you want to wait for the perfect deal. You want to wait until you understand everything, right? And that is where most people fail. The wholesaling is all about volume. It's all about making offers. How many offers am I making? I want to make more offers, right? And that's what it all comes down to. An offer is when you offer to purchase the seller's property for a price. The more offers you make, the closer you are to getting your first wholesale deal. Or if you already got your first wholesale deal, then obviously your second or third or fourth. The other pitfall that I notice is they quit too soon. This is not a get rich quick scheme. This is a business, so you got to treat it as so, right? Most people give up after two to 4 weeks without a deal, right? That's the worst mistake you can make, right? Success in wholesale real estate requires persistence. Most first deals close after 30 to 90 days of consistent effort. And that is why I always go back to what is your why? What is the reason that you're in this business? What is the reason that you're looking to make more money? Is it for yourself? Is it for your family? Is it for your children? Is it, for the people around you? Maybe if you're not from here, maybe people back home, right? I'm from Colombia, so maybe people back home. What is your why? Because this business is not going to be easy. I will say there is a road, but every business has its challenges. So you got to persevere, you got to work through, and you got to keep going. Never give up. So mistake number two, pitfall number two, they fear talking to sellers. Like, oh my God, I'm afraid of what the seller's going to say. I'm afraid I'm not going to, right? Cold calling and door knocking and just getting in front of sellers may feel uncomfortable at first because you've never done it, but you have to understand that it's just simply a conversation with somebody who wants to sell the property. That's all it is. That's simply all it is, right? Your ability to have conversations with motivated sellers is your most valuable skill in this business. How much are you listening? How many questions are you asking? Are you actually paying attention to what they're telling you, right? Are you listening, right? And that's really, really, really important. And also being able to communicate back to the sellers, right? Most people, they focus on learning instead of action, right? Obviously, you're here, you're watching this YouTube video, which is good. That means you're part of the 1%. You're here trying to better yourself. But what's really important is that you take action with what we're teaching you, or you obviously will go towards the end. You can book a call with us and we can help you get started. But don't just read and learn, but actually apply. Go knock on some doors. Go talk to some sellers. Like get out of your comfort zone, right? So yeah, watching videos, reading books. Education without execution leads nowhere. I'll repeat that again. Education without execution leads nowhere, right? At some point, you must pick up the phone and you might have got to start making offers at some point, right? You can't just keep watching videos over again. You got to take action with it, right? So avoid this mistake. Last but not least, mistake number 3, they never build a buyer's list. Finding a deal without a ready buyer could be a serious problem. Now, I am an advocate of you can always find a buyer if you have a good deal, but knowing what markets and where to target is really important as well, right? Not every market has buyers. Not every market is growing. Not every market is booming, right? Investors are not buying everywhere. They're buying in specific pockets where they can make money, right? It just has to make sense, right? So build your buyers list. I'm gonna go against this. I wouldn't say build your buyers list before you find your first deal, but you can do both at the same time. You can start finding your deal and you can start talking to buyers and you can kind of go back and forth. That way, when you have a deal, you already have buyers lined up, ready to go. Now, how you find these buyers? Local real estate events, network with flippers and landlords across Canada, Facebook groups. You could also use Eventbrite to find local events that may be happening near you. The deal is only as good as the buyer waiting on the other end. Very, very important. Now, how to find wholesale deals in Canada. These are just some of the different ways in which you can get started today to get deals, which is driving for dollars. So just get in your car, bike, ride, walk, crawl, whatever you have to do, right? But get out there, start looking at properties, start analyzing properties, start driving around and looking for those ugly properties in good neighborhoods. That's what you're looking for. So driving for dollars, door knocking. So simply going and door knocking on the door, or direct mail. So taking a bunch of flyers with you and going to drop them off. That's one of the ways. The second one is online listings. So that could be visible, which is for sale by owner. That could be Facebook. That could be Kijiji. Those are places where typically sellers are going there to sell their property. So those are really, really good places to find motivated sellers as well. Networking, right? Just letting everybody know that you are an investor and that you're looking for ugly properties. That is the name of the game. Let everybody in your Facebook, Instagram, don't be afraid. Let people know what you're looking for, because you never know who might know somebody. If you have 500 people following you on Instagram, let's say, or whatever, or Facebook, and one of them, all you need is one of them that knows the neighbor or the cousin or the nephew or whoever that is looking to sell the property. I've got a lot of deals just by posting on social media, getting out there, letting people know what I'm looking for. And you never know who knows somebody. So networking events, referrals, build a relationship with contractors, pest control companies, right? All these are very, very, very good to find motivated sellers. How to find a buyer? We mentioned a few things. So joining and attending local REI chapters and real estate clubs, networking. So attending local events, like I said, Eventbrite. You just going out there, searching on Facebook, searching on YouTube. That's also another way. And then build your buyers list. Like I said, create a buyers list before potential investors who are looking. So when you talk to an investor, you also want to ask them, hey, what kind of properties are you looking for? What price point? What areas? Like, you want to get very, very deep when you're asking investors, when you're talking to investors about what they're buying. So that way you know exactly what to look for. The truth about the industry, right? The reality, like I mentioned earlier, wholesaling is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is a real business, and success requires consistency, discipline, and daily action, not luck. That is what it takes to be successful. Now, what it actually takes: consistently generate leads, so talk to motivated sellers, make offers every day, every week, every month, follow up relentlessly, so build a system so that you can follow up with the leads, build genuine relationships. Those who treat it like a business get paid like business owners. Very simply put. Now, if you're starting out today, what I would do if I had to start out over today: step 1 and 2, drive for dollars, get in your car, bring a bunch of flyers with you, look for distressed properties, vacant or neglected properties in your target neighborhoods or areas. Talk to the sellers every day, pick up the phone, knock on the door, have daily conversations with sellers. Action beats education every single time. Step number 3 and 4, slowly, steady while you're doing that. Simultaneously, you want to build your buyers list immediately. So join local real estate events, attend real estate meetups and events, connect with flippers, investors, multifamily investors, land developers across Canada or your specific area where you're doing business in. By the way, you can do wholesaling anywhere in Canada. Then make 10 to 15 offers per week. Volume is everything. That's what it's all about. It's a numbers game, right? Most wholesalers fail because they simply don't make enough offers. Step 5, focus on action over endless education, right? Again, you're here, you're watching this video, which is great. But after this, I want you to stop watching this video and start making calls, start talking to sellers, right? The market rewards those who execute, not those who prepare forever. One deal in the field teaches you more than 100 hours of courses or modules or videos. Commit to daily action, and your first assignment fee will follow. All right, guys, so that brings us towards the end of this presentation here. So again, the question was, can you make 20,000 wholesale real estate in Canada? And the answer is absolutely you can. The real question is, are you willing to put in the work to find the opportunity? That is the real question. Do you have a strong reason why you're looking to do this, right? So again, guys, I hope you guys get tremendous value from it. Go out there, go execute. Now, if any of you guys are looking for a system, you guys want the contracts, you want the other marketing strategies that we've implemented, you want a system, you want a CRM. Like, if you want an exact roadmap on how to cut the learning curve and not have to go trial and errors, but actually have a system in place that we've used to build our 7-figure wholesale business, and also potentially even have access to our buyers list who already are ready to buy, then what you want to do is you want to then somewhere on the video here, maybe below, I'll put in the comments, and book a call with our team to see if you're a good fit for us to work with you, right? Now, I will say to guys, and I'll say this over and over again, all the YouTube that we create, it's free. So take full advantage of it. If you're going to book a call, just understand that there is an investment required. It is not free. We do have some options available, and we don't work with everybody. So we only work with specific people that we find that are a good fit for you and for us. So don't book a call if you're expecting something for free. But if you are serious, you're committed, you want to take action, and you want to get your first deal done as soon as possible, go ahead and book a call. And then don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us, and get notified whenever we post any new videos. And great seeing everybody. Crush it. And we'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.